you're a smart person and you know how to utilize the system, like MrBeast.
What if the people you've been following for years isn't who you thought they were?
Little white kid just comes up to me and he's like, oh my God, are you Jayus? And I'm like, yeah, hi. And he's like, you're a you piece of
Behind those smiling faces, flashy giveaways, lies something far less wholesome.
No, and if you pick the correct key out of this fishbowl that unlocks this door, you get to keep this mansion.
A world of calculated performances, engineered generosity, and an empire built on attention at any cost. All of this start with the same pattern of admiration, millions of views, lives changed on camera, and the rise of a modern-day do-gooder. But as you look closer, the shiny facade starts to crack. For a long time, Jimmy Donaldson, better known as MrBeast, has been praised for things like giving people back their vision, building wells in far-off places, and providing homes for those struggling. But some critics argue that these acts, while they seem amazing, are really more about show than making a real impact. They're calling it sympathy baiting, where real-life struggles turn into just another video for clicks, and every tear is just another moment to go viral.
They can't see, but we have all the technology to fix it.
Yep, half of all the blindness in the world is people who need a 10-minute surgery.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I see everybody.
Oh, I can see clear. I can jump for joy.
It seems like it's all about pleasing the algorithm rather than actually tackling the issues being filmed. One notable example comes from Africa. There were a bunch of wells that were funded and featured in his videos, supposed to be symbols of hope, but later reports from local news said they ended up falling apart or getting abandoned. This left the same communities struggling all over again. Those issues never made it into the follow-up videos, but the original posts still went on to get millions of views. Then you've got these performative giving stunts, those over-the-top gestures that grab headlines, but some people say they're more about the fame than actually helping anyone. The phrase stunt philanthropy started popping up in columns and online chats. And not just YouTube, but in the corners of TikTok, a new round of claims popped up. Critics started calling out posts that seemed to take advantage of tough situations just to grab attention. Some people said these clips mixed up helping others and making them look bad.
Now be like shocked, like have your hands over your face, like you're emotional as you can be. So like have your hand reaching for it and then like be like shocked, like you're, yeah. Here, you hand him the money and let me get a shot. Spread out the money as much as you can. Act a little surprised. Like be like really shocked with your mouth open.
Subscribe to MrBeast.
All for the sake of going viral. And behind all that, things get darker. Former employees have come forward saying MrBeast's operation has high pressure, even toxic working conditions. There are accusations of abusive language, crazy expectations, and burnout.
It was one of those solitary confinement videos that got a lot of media attention because everyone saw the premise and thought, what? You shouldn't do that. And if people don't know, that was the second attempt. The first attempt was on me, and it didn't go well.
And not just this, the reality show Beast Games is now caught up in a lawsuit because contestants are claiming they faced rough conditions, unpaid wages, and harassment. And then there was that Las Vegas fan event in 2025 that promised once-in-a-lifetime experiences for $1,000 a ticket, only for a lot of people to feel ripped off and demand their money back.
And then I ran into other people that also were crying. I really just want my MrBeast experience that I paid for.
Even global landmarks got dragged into this mess. A video shot at the ancient site of Chichen Itza stirred up rage from Mexican officials who accused the team of exploiting sacred ruins without the right permits. Mexico's National Institute of Anthropology and History, INAH, issued a news release on May 12th criticizing the video. Officials said the YouTuber followed all legal guidelines for obtaining filming permissions and did not damage any historic sites, but the video distorted information and misrepresented events. But beneath these documented controversies, there are some darker rumors floating around about him.
Yes.
This was made over 1,000 years ago.
Yes.
Which means my great-great-great-great-great-grandparents weren't even alive. Why is this not in a museum? Why is a YouTuber holding this? Get this away from me. Take it, take it.
Don't tell anybody.
Okay, I totally won't show 200 million people.
On Reddit, people talk about elite backers, mysterious investors who seem to provide almost endless cash. Others think his videos play into child psychology, using gambling-style reinforcement to keep younger viewers hooked, with one claimed former staffer even saying this was the plan all along. Then there's the sketchy side of financial transparency. Some online investigators are raising eyebrows over the missing IRS filings for Beast philanthropy, pointing out gaps and unexplained growth. While there hasn't been any proof of fraud, the lack of clear answers just fuels the speculation. And when you put all this together, the image starts to shift. Sure, we see the guy giving away millions with a big smile, but there's a lot happening behind the scenes. For every feel-good headline, there are untold stories and voices that go unheard. So the question remains, are we witnessing a genuine force for good, or the most convincing performance the internet has ever seen? MrBeast's case shows how a bright spotlight can cast some serious shadows, but OnlyJayus' story takes it a step further, revealing what happens when those shadows completely engulf the light. For years, Bella Porch, better known online as OnlyJayus, built a massive following. Quick-cut TikToks, quirky stories, a relatable, almost effortless charm. But beneath the cheerful edits and endless energy, there were cracks forming, some hidden in her past, others playing out right in the open. It started when private messages from 2016 resurfaced, messages laced with racial and homophobic slurs, including the N-word. As those screenshots went viral, the internet reacted quickly. Brands started dropping her. Netflix even cut ties with her. Her apology felt more rehearsed than heartfelt to a lot of people. Despite the growing backlash, she kept pushing out videos. Next, the whispers about her borrowing ideas started to circulate.
Myself for using racist rhetoric and derogatory language to hurt others, because I knew what that word meant and I understood the power behind it, but I said it anyway because it was the meanest thing that I could think of. And I'm so sorry to everyone.
People on Reddit posted comparisons of her content alongside older works from smaller creators, like comics and skits that looked almost identical. Some users pointed straight to Pizza Cake Comic, accusing her of stealing ideas without giving credit. What used to seem clever suddenly felt more like unacknowledged copycatting. But the drama didn't stop at plagiarism. More disturbing claims came to light from her private life. An ex-girlfriend filed for a restraining order, alleging verbal abuse and surprise late-night visits, plus using social media to turn her fans against her. These stories weren't just typical online drama. They painted a picture of calculated actions that blurred the line between her online persona and real-life consequences. This all led to a pretty predictable cycle: public outrage, carefully crafted statements, a short silence, and then back to posting like nothing ever happened. YouTube deep dives traced these ups and downs, revealing a timeline of repeated issues, conflicts with other creators, and growing public anger. Yet, her account still stands strong. Followers keep engaging and brands still reach out. It's almost like the online world has learned to take scandals in stride, turning outrage into just another form of entertainment. Some people even think this chaos isn't by chance. That drama, whether intentional or not, actually boosts her visibility in the algorithm. There's also the question of what all this does to her mentally. If the version of her we see online is just a facade, the stalking rumors, the roller coaster of emotions, and those public disputes create a pattern that, even though she insists it's not true, stays in people's heads. If you've been following this far, you already know there's more to these stories than meets the eye. And trust me, what's coming next will make you question everything. So if you don't want to miss what's about to unfold, hit that subscribe button and stay locked in. Things are only getting stranger from here. Now let's talk about Darren Watkins Jr., better known as IShowSpeed. It all started in December 2021 during one of the e-dating streams. What started as some light teasing quickly took a nasty turn with comments that many saw as rape threats.
Hey, hold on, wait. All right, but look though. I got a psychological question, okay? Say if we're the last 2 people on Earth and we had to reproduce to make the world continue, would you reproduce with me?
No, because that means our kids will have to intertwine and then their kids, no.
Who gonna stop me?
I will.
Who's gonna stop me?
I will.
If we the last 2 people on Earth, who gonna stop me? You're not stopping me. If we the last 2 people on Earth, who gonna stop me?
Yeah. Come on.
Twitch jumped in right away and gave him a permanent ban for manipulative or threatening behavior. But that was just the beginning. A few months later, things blew up again. While playing Valorant, Speed went off on a female teammate yelling, "Get off the game and do your husband's dishes." Riot Games wasn't having it and banned him from all their games, calling the behavior unacceptable. And the madness didn't stop there.
Talking to me? Is a female talking to me? Am I am I tripping? Oh, wait, time out. Is a female talking to me right now? Is a female talking to me? Get off the phone and do your husband. Shut up.
On July 4th, 2022, Speed decided to light a Pikachu firework in his bedroom during a live stream. The place was filled with smoke, and for a moment, it looked like his setup might catch fire. The stream ended in chaos, and he ended up with a 1-week ban from YouTube. Then there was the whole Paradox Metaverse situation. Speed promoted this crypto project to millions, but people quickly called it a scam. After the backlash, he tried to backtrack and apologized for promoting it, but the damage to his reputation was already done.
I just want to let y'all know, bro, it was not to be like that, bro. I promise y'all, bro. And I don't, just chat, just know I'm back. All right, y'all, chat, that's literally all I'm going to say is I'm back, bro. Apologize, bro. Really, chat, chat, that's literally all I'm going to say is, bro. Literally, chat, I'm back, bro. You know what, bro, let's just go, bro. You know what, chat? We just about to, you know what, chat, let's just.
In another wild moment, he was live at a zoo and started yelling at monkeys and messing with an orangutan, which got him slammed for animal mistreatment. Plus, there was a viewer who claimed they won one of his Try Not to Laugh challenges, but never got their prize via PayPal. They said Speed just ignored them after he got their contact info. Not all controversies were accidents. In another highly criticized video, fellow creator KSI whipped Speed during a FIFA game. What was meant as humor became the center of a heated debate over what is acceptable for younger audiences. As time went on, the whole situation started to blend together, becoming a mix of outrage, apologies, and then back to the usual content. For his fans, Speed is all about unpredictability and entertainment. But for the haters, he's just a guy who's all about chaos, pushing limits until things go off the rails. So the big question is IShowSpeed just a reckless entertainer who can't tell where the act ends and real life begins? Or is the chaos the brand he's been creating all along? Share your thoughts down below. Bentellect used to be seen as this chill, upbeat voice on TikTok.
Pros and cons of making food. Pros, food, cons, making.
Famous for reacting to viral videos, spreading positivity, and racking up over 11 million followers. But what people thought they knew about him didn't quite match up with the truth. For many, that realization hit hard and fast. It all kicked off when adult performer Jordan Max posted about a petition from Bentellect that seemed off. She claimed that his invite was a cover for trying to get her to collaborate on OnlyFans, which she clearly felt crossed a line. Her post took off, sparking a ton of conversations. Soon, other creators jumped into the mix, sharing similar stories, leaked DMs, strange experiences, and screenshots.
I don't work tomorrow, no. Ben says no worries. He says, let's make some content tomorrow. Not like that, but let's just film a podcast. 7 hours later, Ben texts her and says, what do you think? Less than 2 hours later, he texts her again and says, you're killing me, gorgeous. I hate millennials who decide to be influencers online and have no idea how to interact with real people.
That showed a troubling pattern. They accused Bentellect of reaching out to women under the pretense of professional collaboration, only to steer the chat towards requests. The situation only got more alarming. Some posts were vague, while others were pretty explicit, but they all pointed to the same issue, using his influence not for creative projects, but for personal gain. In mid-August 2023, Bentellect fired back, denying all the claims in a brief statement.
I usually put a lot out there on social media, so I don't think there's a whole lot people don't know.
But instead of calming things down, it made it worse. Social media exploded with criticism, and many thought his response sounded defensive rather than clarifying. Then a YouTube expose dropped, hitting hard with the title, "Bentellect was called out for being a freak." The video broke down the accusations, the timing, and the fallout. It wasn't just explaining the claims, it was tearing apart his online image. A couple of months ago, after a brief apology video,
There's a lot being said about me on the internet right now, and I just wanted to clear the air. I want to say to any girl who I've been rude to, whether through text or in person, that I'm sorry. I understand that me being sorry does not excuse that kind of behavior. I will continue to work on myself and do better. Thanks, guys.
Bentellect started posting again quietly, but the internet didn't forget. Commentary channels called his return calculated and manipulative. Reddit threads in places like r YouTube drama were filled with harsh comments. Labels like pervert, creep, and clowner circulated. One user summed up the vibe perfectly. He's not coming back from this. And through all of this, one big question lingered. If these stories are true, how long did this behavior go unnoticed? Was this a one-time thing or just the first time anyone called him out? The full truth might never come out, but the damage, whether to his reputation, career, or the trust of his followers, has already been done. In the world of social media, where perception is everything, that could be the one thing he can't fix. By now you've seen the bright lights and the shadows hiding just behind them, but there's still something for you. So make sure you're subscribed, because the next time we pull back the curtain, you won't want to be on the outside looking in. Bentellect's hidden issues have led us to Khaby Lame, the guy who seems too perfect to criticize. But even those flawless personas can crack under all that pressure. Picture someone who never talks, but still connects with millions. That's Khaby Lame, the TikTok star who became the most followed creator by making fun of complicated life hacks, all without saying a word. His rise to fame felt genuine and easygoing, almost like a safety net. But what happens when that safety starts to fall apart? In 2021, Khaby shared a simple message: say no to racism. Suddenly, that stirred up some drama. Followers started unfollowing him, not because he did anything wrong, but just for speaking out against hate. His reaction was pretty calm and confident. You can also unfollow me. I don't care about the numbers. I care about your hearts. Even in his silence, he showed some real strength. But then people began to question if he was really being genuine. Some critics said his posts felt repetitive, just the same silent reaction over and over. To some, Khaby was the epitome of simplicity and charm. For others, it seemed like he was just going through the motions, a once fresh storyline stretched too thin. Then, in June 2025, things took a serious turn. Khaby got detained by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement in Las Vegas for overstaying his visa. The top TikToker and UNICEF Goodwill Ambassador seemed vulnerable at an airport. He chose to leave voluntarily and headed out of the U.S. that same day. To make things even more shocking, a MAGA-supporting teenager named Bo Loudon bragged about reporting him to ICE, saying he worked with Trump's ICE to get him removed. it was a brutal reminder that a content creator's legal status can become a political trophy, shattering the illusion that social media fame makes you untouchable. What did Khaby do next? He stayed silent. He kept posting as usual from Sao Paulo days later, offering no public comments or explanations. But that silence raises a bigger question. When your whole persona is built on simplicity, what happens when life gets complicated? For Khaby, he's still there, quietly powerful but also exposed. His run-in with the law is more than just an immigration mishap. It shines a light on how even the quietest stars face backlash, legal issues, and the pressure of constant scrutiny. Now, the popular YouTuber among Gen Z as a prank prince and prank king, David Dobrik's story takes a darker detour, far from the laughs and light flickers of his vlogs.
This is our friend Mike. Believe it or not, he hooked up with a really hot girl yesterday.
In 2021, an old deleted vlog from 2018 called "She Should Not Have Played with Fire" resurfaced and changed everything. A woman named Hannah claimed she was too drunk to give consent when Vlog Squad member Dirta Dom was involved. But the original video made it look like it was all good and consensual until Hannah asked for it to be taken down after it hit 5 million views. Then things got messy with leaks, text messages, videos, and insider info published by big outlets like The Washington Post and The Insider. They painted a pretty grim picture of the group's wild dynamics, blurry lines, and a toxic click-chasing culture. The fallout hit hard. YouTube demonetized Dobrik's channels under their rules about creator responsibility. Brands and investors, including HelloFresh, EA Sports, DoorDash, and Dispo backers like Spark Capital, all cut ties. Dobrik even lost his gig with Angel City FC.
And I also acknowledge that there's times where a person can change their mind and they decide that they no longer want to be associated, they no longer want to be in the video that I'm putting up, and then I'll take the video down. And there's also been moments where I've looked back on videos and I realized that these don't represent me anymore. They're hurtful to other people. With the Seth situation, I'm sorry to Seth because like I said, I would just want to make videos where everybody in it, you know, whether you're participating or watching, is enjoying and having a good time. And I'm really sorry. I truly, truly am. And with people in my life that I don't film with anymore, like Dom and, you know, people that I no longer film with, I chose to distance myself because I don't align with some of the actions. I've been really disappointed by some of my friends. And for that reason, I've separated from a lot of them. I never want anything to get in the way of that. And I'm sorry if I've let you down, and things like that won't happen again. And I learned from my mistakes, and I also believe that actions speak a lot louder than words. And, you know, you can take my word for it that I'm going to change, but I'll also show you and I'll prove to you that, you know, the mistakes I made before won't be happening again. But yeah, that's it. All right. I love you guys. I'll see you later.
When he spoke out, it was in a Let's Talk video on his Views podcast, where he talked about consent, admitted he had drifted from people involved, and promised he'd do better. But a lot of folks thought his apology felt pretty empty. Then came another setback, the excavator stunt. During a 2020 shoot, Jeff Wittek ended up seriously injured when Dobrik suddenly halted an excavator, causing Wittek to crash. The lawsuit that followed, totaling $10 million, not only raised issues of negligence, but also exposed some behind-the-scenes drama and insurance arguments. So what happened next? After being mostly out of the spotlight for nearly 3 years, Dobrik popped back up in early 2025, showing off a major body transformation from about 27.8% body fat down to 13.1%, along with 10.5 pounds of muscle, sharing before and after clips that shocked fans. He got back into vlogging, made podcast appearances, and even launched Dobrik's Pizza, suggesting he was trying to make a strategic comeback. But even as he works on rebuilding his image, the shadows of the past still linger. David Dobrik's story isn't just about the ups and downs. It's about a digital empire that was built on his charm, but is now starting to crumble because of its contradictions. The big question is, can a polished exterior really cover up what's hiding beneath? And that's all for today. Or at least, that's all we're allowed to tell you. The rest, it's still somewhere in screenshots you'll never see, and in stories that vanish as quickly as they appear. Until next time, keep your ears open, your eyes sharper, and your trust just a little bit guarded.